What's up guys, Card Protagonist here, and today I will be doing a deck profile on the Genesis Minerva deck from G-BT14 Divine Dragon Apocrypha. Genesis, Regalia in particular, has gotten a lot of good stuff from the G-BT14 set. Minerva not only got a new strike, the whole deck has gone through a revamp as well. Today I'm here to explain how the deck works and ways you can build the deck, so let us begin. For the Great Trees, we play 4 copies of Angelica. She shares the same name as the previous Angelica from the Troll deck, which means if she were to enter the soul of Minerva, she will get a cross right, which is great against certain matchups, especially against Rush. Where she is placed on the Vanguard circle, you can choose one Regalia from the drop zone and send it to the soul of this card. If you do, you can draw a card. So it's really good because during your right turn, you will be able to get a +1 and of course a free soul charge, which is nice. Her strike break skill is when you perform stride, counterblast 1. If you do, look at the top 4 cards of the deck, 1 of them into your hand, 1 of them into your soul, and the rest into the drop zone. The drop zone also plays a very important role in the Minerva deck because there are tons of cards that we play, especially the Grade 1s and Grade 2s, which put stuff from your drop zone into your soul. Setting up the drop zone is really important with this deck, and there's no perfect way than doing it during your strike break. She must be played with 4 copies of deck because not only she provides you with a strike break every single turn, if you were to play against a Great Start deck, you'll be able to use Minerva's cross right in order to soften a lot of attacks, because 13k base is very good against rush decks, where they do not have proper boost and quality attacks, and therefore it will be much easier to gut for attacks. So yeah, that's 4 copies of Angelica. So next up is 2 copies of Minerva, original form. She has the Limit Break ability, so she's perfect against those decks that Great Lock, such as Ripples. So her Limit Break skill is choose 3 Genesis from your hand and discard them, Count Blast 1 and Soul Blast 1. If you do, at the end of the battle, you can restand this card and gain plus 5k power. This skill is really good because not only she is a pretty cheap cost of 1 Count Blast and 3 Soul Blast, you'll be able to do a double attack with a second bigger swing. And of course, let's not forget that she also has the continuous skill to gain at cross right when you Angelica in the soul, which is really easy because we always soul charge cards into the soul. Even if you write her from 2 to 3, chances of you soul charging her is really high. So 2 copy just in case against rush decks such as Aqua Force. Breaking the magic numbers against certain decks is really important. Right, 2 copies of Regalia of Activity Loan. She is pretty much a very powerful strike fodder. And of course a Regalia. When this card is discarded for a hand for a strike cost, if you have a Regalia Vanguard, you may soul charge her. If you do, your Vanguard gains a 10k power. Really good, especially during your Minerva turns, because she'll be able to resend herself and the whole field. So if you give her the 10k power, she actually benefit from it, giving you huge swings. So yeah, she's pretty much just a backup, the Grade 3. And of course, you can discard her using the strike fodder if you want to search for Angelica, so there's no problem. For the Grade 2s, we play 4 copies of Freya. She's also from G-BT14. When she's placed on the Vanguard circle, you can counterblast 1. If you do, you can draw 1 card and put cards from the drop zone into the soul. So basically, counterblast 1, draw 1 and soul charge. Really useful skill because this deck don't really use a lot of counterblast. Most of the strikes we use usually use soul blast or 1 counterblast, really cheap cost. So maybe other than the Ultima, counterblasts are mostly reserved for the rearguards. Her second skill is GB2. When your Vanguard with Regalia and its name attacks, this unit gains a 3k power. So now turns where you go into the strike form, she usually attacks twice. So that's an instant plus 6k. So the next time she swing after you resend every rearguard on the field, chances are she'll be gain plus 6. So that hits the next magic number, making attacks more painful. Next is 4 copies of Ganil. She's a common from the G-BT14 set. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, you may have it gain plus 2k power. If you do, you can go. She will go into the soul. You can be used early game in order to escape stuff like Link Druker's locks. If this card is placed into the drop zone from your soul, during your turn, choose another of your unit with Regalia and it gains a 3k power. If you use Soul Blast for stuff like Minerva, you'll be able to fix up some of the magic numbers. So she's actually really good to store in the soul. So that's why her skill of going to the soul after the battle is pretty good. But usually I use it against control decks which like Kagero, which you know your Regalia won't survive. Might as well just put it in the soul because otherwise they get burned up. And the final Grade 2 we play is 4 copies of Bragi. Bragi is another soul charger. Basically, when this card's on a Vanguard circle, if a Regalia Vanguard, choose up the 2 cards with the Regalia name from your drop zone and put it into your soul. So basically, when she enters field, soul charge 2 from the drop zone, which is cool because this way you won't deck out too fast. And choose one of Vanguards. This unit and that unit gives us 3k power. So basically, she's kind of like a 12k beat stick by herself. For the Grade 1s, we play 4 copies of the strike fodder. She is the Genesis one, except she actually searches out for Regalia. So she's really useful in the deck because against certain matchups. It gives you the choice whether you want to go into the limit break one or the strike break one, depending on your matchup. Some matchups I actually go for the 13k base because higher defenses actually help me a lot. For standard games, I just go for the strike break skill. So yeah, kind of a generic strike fodder and just play it at 4. We play 4 copies of the new Perfect Guard from G-BT14. I'm really happy that G-BT14 has given Regalia a lot of stuff, and she's actually generally really easy to build. So you guys want to try Genesis and just want to have a nice waifu deck, G-BT14 is a set for you. Alright, Regalia of Frost Jotun. Really interesting card because she's one of those retrievable Perfect Guards. Her skill is when this card's in the drop zone, when she's soul blasted from a unit, you can bind this card. You can bind one to get this back to your hand. Do takes a bit of setting up to retrieve it, but really easy otherwise. 4 copies of Expel Angels. Another new card from this set. Activate once per turn. Choose 3 nominees with Regalia in the name and 3 different card names from this unit from drop zone. So basically 3 different Regalia names, so it could be of different grade, and put them into the bottom of the deck in any order. If you have a Vanguard with Regalia and card name, this unit gets a 3k, so she's basically a 10k booster. And if you have a face-up Regalia in your G zone, so after you use her strike skill, you can basically send those soul blasted cards to the bottom of the deck. So it prevents you from decking out, and of course she becomes a 10k booster, which is great because most of the units in my deck is kind of like a 11k base, so it hits magic numbers, help you swing really hard. Really good overall, and she also gives you a free draw, which is always nice. For the final grade one, I only play 1 tech copy of Owl. When this unit is read as a Vanguard or caught from the Regalia from hand, look at the top 2 cards of the deck, 1 of them into the soul and 1 into the drop zone. So he kind of set up your drop zone and gives you a free soul charge. His 6k power is kind of questionable though. I wish he's 7k, but nonetheless, he's just there early game as a right target, I guess. So let's go on the triggers. Triggers, I play 8 crits, 4 draws and 4 heals. I should probably play stands, but I don't really go into Ultima much. If you guys are playing Ultima, you guys might want to switch out a draw trigger for a stand trigger. 4 copies of Kukuri Hime. She's an improvement from the previous form. You can send her to the soul to draw 1 card and gain plus 3k power. So unlike Flame of Victory, she not only gives a unit plus 3k, you get to draw 1 card, so it basically replaces herself, and soul is really important in this deck. So I really like her and she's really important for the deck. 4 copy of Clear Angels. Clear Angel is from the old Genesis set. She's mostly used because she's Regalia, and you don't really want to play stand in Regalia because the Minerva, if you were to check a stand trigger, you do not really plus as much as critical triggers, so it's basically a Regalia crit. Her art's nice though. She kind of looks like an angel feather. Next is 4 copies of Draw Triggers. These ones are actually superior than the ones that's given in G-BT14. When you guard with this card, you can soul charge 1. So that alone is a very impressive skill. And finally, heal triggers. 4 copies of the heal with an effect. She's from G-BT14, and it's really important because we don't really have a lot of ways to counter charge in this deck other than heals. You can bind her and you can counter charge 1 or soul charge 1. Mostly counter charge because soul charge is really easy in this deck. So yeah, that's pretty much the trigger lineup. So the starter of the deck we play is 1 copy of Daylight Angel. Count plus 1 and put this card in the soul, review the top 3 cards of the deck, and put 1 of them into your soul, put the rest of them into the drop zone. And if the card put into your soul is a Regalia, you can draw 1 card. Really good because you can use her early game. As long as Count Blast, you should immediately use her because you can set up a drop zone, get you a free card into your hand, 2 soul charge because you get 2 souls, and really good because you can run away from Kagero and all those ridiculous control units. For the strikes, we play 4 copies of Minerva. Her artwork is amazing and she has an impressive skill. You can use her as a first strike and the second strike. Her first skill is activate once per turn, Soul Blast 3 Regalia and Persona Flip face up. If you do, she gains 1 extra drive check and plus 10k power. Her second skill is a GB3 skill. Soul Blast 6 Regalia and choose a card from your hand and discard it. When this card attacks, you may pay the cost. If you do, resend every single Regalia unit on your field. This is why I play a full Regalia deck, because you don't want to miss out the opportunity to resend stuff. However, she gets minus 3 drive checks. But think about it, her first attack will be quad drive, her next attack will be single drive. Because she's at quad drive, she'll lose 3 drive checks, she'll be at 1 drive check. In total, it's 2 drive check at 5. Her skill is really good because not only she kind of resends herself, she resends the whole field, so the Regards can attack after you do another drive check. And also, if you manage to use a heal trigger for G-Guardian during your first strike, you can use the skill immediately during your first strike, which is great. 4 copies of Minerva, she is the winning image of the deck because resending rocks. Next up, we have 2 copies of Earth. Earth is basically a backup finisher because she's able to rack up lots of power. Counter Blast 1 and Persona Flip. If you do, when this unit plays on the Vanguard circle, if you have a Regalia heart, put all cards in the drop zone into your soul, and if the number of face-up cards with Regalia in the name in your G zone is 2 or more, until the end of turn, this unit gains a skill. Activate Soul Blast 6, this unit gains plus 10k power, 1 crit until end of turn. If you have like a 40 card drop zone, you can place all of them in the soul. You can use a skill multiple times because she has an activate skill not once per turn, so you can actually Soul Blast as much as you can and again stack up their 10k power. So really good because if you're using the Minerva deck, chances are they'll be keeping their perfect guards for the resending stuff. and late game, they usually don't have the perfect guard. I would play her at 4, but she's actually kind of hard to find right now. So yeah, I'll just play her at 2 for now. Next is some tech cards. I play him because whenever you try to check a non-trigger, you basically get some free soul charge, which is nice. But I kind of wish that we could G-flip 1, but otherwise he's still a nice card if you don't have enough soul charge. I play 1 copy of her just because she is able to power up your regards. If you have good early game with a full field, you can use your skill to soul blast and power those units and draw card or counter charge. So she's kind of nice to have. 1 copy of Ultima. Ultima is always a good card to have in any Unite Sentry deck because he Count Blast 2, search out a unit and give you free triggers on top of the deck. And also, whenever a trigger is checked, the trigger power is applied to all units on the field. Highly recommend you guys play Stan in the deck, but most of the time I don't really go to him because I usually finish my opponent off during my Minerva plays. Just play him just because you can. Pretty awesome card. 1 copy of Sabreeze just in case of the Great Lock nonsense. I do have my outs to that, but sometimes Sabreeze punish them even more because we have some GB skills in the deck that we want to activate. So Sabreeze is always nice to have. For the generation cards, I actually play multiple copies just because I want to have the perfect one for the perfect situations. I'm going to go through them really quick. When this card is placed on Guardian Circle, just put up the 3 cards from drop zone into the soul. If 3 cards are put in the soul, it's a 20k shield. One of the most stable G Guardians we have right now. Next up is from the G-BT14 rare, a Regalia G Guardian. When this unit play on Guardian Circle, choose up to 4 cards from the drop zone with different grades and put them in soul. This one takes a little bit of soul management. Most of the time, you want to control your drop zone so they have different grades in order to use her skill. She is really powerful because she can easily get you up to 30k shield if you put 4 different grades. 0, 1, 2, 3. You can also put trigger units in soul, so she's not really that limited. So do not worry, you can put a trigger, 1, 2, 3, and you get instant 30k shield. 2 copies is fine. 1 copy of her because she's also really useful just in case you don't have any drop zone. Her skill is more unique. When this card is in the Guardian Circle and you have a card in the soul with the same card on your Rearguard Circle. So let's say you have a Rearguard Minerva. If you use her and you have a Minerva in the soul as well, she will basically gain plus 10k shield. Easy 25k shield. Next up, the final copy is 1 copy of Laria. She's from FC. She basically requires you to flip out a G Guardian. Choose 2 or more up to total of 3 units with the grade from your drop zone or so. And she gives us 5k defense until the end of battle for each card return. So basically, the only bad thing is you can't return triggers back to your deck. Otherwise, she'll be too broken. But nonetheless, she can easily gain 30k as well. So she's there just in case you need her. So I hope you guys enjoyed my deck profile on my Genesis Minerva deck from G-BT14 Divine Dragon Apple Crypha. If you guys would like to see more Vanguard deck profiles, be sure to subscribe to this channel and leave a like on this video. So, thanks for watching guys, peace out and love you guys, rawr.